How you doing?
All right. How are you?
I'm good, thank you.
Where are you?
I am in Nottingham, in England.
All right.
Yeah.
Nice.
I just finished 20. I did 20 record store, like in-store acoustic appearances around the UK.
All right.
And I just finished the last one last night, so I did 20 stores in 13 days. So yeah, go on. But it's good stuff.
It's value for money.
Right?
Well, before we talk about the new record, you have to try and answer me one thing that makes my head explode. And just think about it. Okay.
All right.
Okay. The Black Star Riders are the heirs to Thin Lizzy. Now Scott Gorham leaves the band in order to do something with Thin Lizzy. Do you see my head explode?
Well, honestly, it's really simple.
Okay.
You know, I'll try and make this as simple as I can. So, you know, when Black Star Riders formed 10 years ago, obviously it was well documented that we thought about recording an album under the name of Thin Lizzy, and then we decided that, rightly so, that was a bad idea.
Yeah.
We became Black Star Riders. We put out the record, and it did very well. It was great.
Yeah.
So we thought, okay, this is cool. We keep going. We did the second album. Second album did very well. So now here we are 10 years later, and this is album number 5.
Yeah.
And like any band, there's been a few lineup changes. And Scott obviously was an integral part of the band, but I've always been the main songwriter from day one.
Yeah.
So that hasn't really changed. And when Scott decided that he wanted to take things a little easier, and maybe just do Thin Lizzy and not so much Black Star Riders, I said to him, do you want me to stop Black Star Riders? He said, no, you have to continue the band.
All right.
Because you've worked really hard to build up this legacy of great albums, and you have a great fan base, and the band's great. You said you can continue without me. So I said, well, you know, you're Scott Gorham. I can't replace you. There's nobody plays like you. So there's no point in me going to try and find somebody that's going to try and stand in your shoes, because in my opinion there isn't anybody. A bit like me with Phil with Thin Lizzy. Phil's unique. You can't replace him. So I said, okay, well, we continue, you know, as a 4-piece. I play more guitar because I always played a lot of guitar in the past with my old band, The Almighty, and it changes our sound slightly, and we just continue with that, but we still very much are influenced by Thin Lizzy because we're all Thin Lizzy fans.
Yeah.
And that's really it. You know, as long as the music is good and we have something to say and it's relevant, that's all that matters. Doesn't really matter who's in the band.
If you do the Black Star Riders and Scott Gorham does Thin Lizzy, how does Thin Lizzy work without you as a singer?
Well, I'm still doing Thin Lizzy.
All right.
Yeah.
Now we're getting closer to the whole thing.
Yeah. No, I'm still absolutely singing with Scott and Thin Lizzy. Yeah, nothing has changed there.
All right.
Yeah. So,
all right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Congratulations to your new record. It's obviously great. We really enjoyed listening to it.
Thank you.
I just, songs like Better Than Saturday Night and Riding Out the Storm, they are so annoyingly addictive that once you hear them, you keep humming them for the rest of the day.
Oh, thank you.
Well,
that's the idea.
We hate you for that.
Inside your head, man. They're it's like children's nursery rhymes. They get stuck in there, right? You know what I mean?
It's great. Was it hard for you to write the whole record?
Not really. You know, I felt very inspired, and I had a lot of ideas, and I really enjoyed writing it and really enjoyed making this record. I think without the sounding a bad way, how can I put this? You know, when I would write a song before, I would give it to Damon Johnson, who was a guitar player, and Scott Gorham, who are phenomenal guitar players. And they would take my idea and they play it. And I'd kind of give it away, and I wouldn't really play guitar on it or develop it. Mm-hmm. This time around, I kind of I played so much guitar, and I didn't feel I was giving my ideas away. I felt I could see them through. So I really, really enjoyed it. I felt very much more involved in the recording process rather than just singing. Mm-hmm. Obviously I was always writing, but again, I was given the idea is over. So for me, I was much more involved, and I really enjoyed that. And the whole process was really cool. We got to record in Dave Grohl's studio in LA, which was amazing, 606, the legendary studio, and that was phenomenal. So I've got really good memories of making this record. I mean, obviously it was difficult because it was, kind of put together during the end of the pandemic, but there was still some things in place where we couldn't quite travel and we had to use different studios. We couldn't all be in a studio at the same time. All that kind of stuff was still going on, but we dealt with it and it was okay. It was fun. We managed to do it.
How was it working with, I think there's been, again, some lineup changes. Is the chemistry of the band now all right? Does it feel, good already?
No, I mean, being in a band it's not a prison. It's not a prison sentence. It's okay to leave. It is okay to leave. It's all right. And everybody who's not has left. Nobody has been fired from Black Star Riders. Everybody's left under their own free will. Yeah. The pandemic changed a lot of things in the timeline when we were supposed to put the record out and when we were supposed to go on tour. We all do other things outside of Black Star Riders. And none so much so than Christian Martucci, who was our guitar player on Another Steady Grace and was the guitar player on this record. Yeah. He's also been with Corey Taylor from Slipknot and Stone Sour for 15 years. Before he was in Black Star Riders. Corey, when the album was supposed to come out, Corey was supposed to be off the road. We thought, great, we put our record out, we tour it, boom, we come back. Christian goes to Corey for a year. I do my next solo record. Then we do Black Star Riders again. It all worked. Yeah. You have a pandemic, suddenly everything's crazy. Yeah. So Corey wanted to go out on the road this year. He wanted to make a new record this year. And Christian said, look, Corey's my guy. I have to go with him, which we understood. And, of course it was annoying and, I would prefer it if he'd stayed, but everything happens for a reason. And we bring in Sam Wood now from Wayward Sons, who is incredible. So it all worked out okay, and the songs are good. And we have a good band. Yeah. And Robbie Crane's still there and he's my man. And, so life is good.
That's great. When you're listening to all the Black Star Riders songs and you pay a little attention to the lyrics, it's all, even if you're probably not the person to experience everything, but stuff like, as he said in Riding Out the Storm, when the whiskey comes in, the devil comes out and stuff like that. I believe it's you talking.
It is. Yeah. Yeah. Very much.
It sounds that authentic, actually.
Yeah. That song especially is very, very autobiographical. It's very personal song to me. Lyrically, I mean, it's pretty much a diary of my life. And it's me dealing with. I gave up alcohol a year ago, and I drank. I wouldn't have said I was a big drinker, but I drank. But I noticed that anytime there was a problem or an argument or something didn't work or something didn't happen or so I didn't feel good, it was related to alcohol. So I decided that I cut that out of my life. The difference has been phenomenal. And also I lost both my parents in the last few years. And thank you. And so I was dealing with that. I was especially close to my father. We had a very good relationship. So that hit me really hard. And so dealing with that, I also lost some friends as well. A lot of my friends died very young, and that was kind of crazy. And it kind of got me questioning my own morality, because, I'm not getting any younger and the road ahead is shorter than the road that's behind me. So I want to, how do I evaluate my life? How do I see the road ahead? How do I see where I'm going? And that's really all the self-reflection on me and on my family and on my friends in that song.
Are we on the wrong side or right side of the paradise?
I absolutely think we're on the wrong side right now, sadly. I really do. I think as a species, we're a long way from where we should be. We have all this great technology and wealth and knowledge now, and we're using it. We're using it to destroy ourselves instead of to make ourselves better. And that's really sad. Should be the other way around. You're
actually right. Yeah, obviously. There's I think it's 11 songs on this record.
Mm-hmm.
But it seems like with every song, I think there's not much looking to the left or to the right. It seems like with every song, you somehow caught the essence of the band.
Thank you.
Was that on purpose? Or we go like, next time we're gonna have a 7-minute progressive rock metal song because it's in me.
You know what, man? If a song is over like 3.5 minutes long, I get a nosebleed. I'm like, what? How long is this? I'm a huge fan of get to the point, make your point, and get that out of there. I'm not a big prog rock fan. I can appreciate it. Like, I love Tool. I think they're amazing. One of the most modern day prog rock bands out there, but it's just not in me to do that. I come from that pop sensibility of writing where it really has to be under 4 minutes. And that's just the way I like to work. And so do the guys in the band. We're very big on having big choruses. And like you said earlier, we're very big on having songs that stick in people's heads and annoy them all day. That's what if we can do that, then we feel we've done our job.
So that's why Damon Johnson left. He couldn't play a second guitar solo in the song.
We weren't prog rock enough for Damon, so he left, man. He gets to play Freebird now. It's like 7 minutes long. He's happy.
I got to tell you something. When you guys played Bang Your Head Festival years ago, I approached Damon backstage, and I know he was from Alabama.
Oh yeah.
And I went to school there, and I went up to him and I said, "Roll Tide, man! It's really cool." And he just turns around and looks at me and goes like, "I'm a war eagle," and he just walks off.
Oh yeah, no, it
was so bad.
No, dude, I'm not the biggest American football fan, and certainly college football fan. But Damon and I have had many conversations about it, and he's as passionate about that as I am about my soccer teams. And and I've been in situations before where people have said that to him, and it's one of the few times where I ever really see Damon get upset is like when you mention the other team, So, oh yeah, no, he's War Eagle. He's War Eagle all the way, 100%. That boy.
Yeah, but we talk later on, and
he's friends. Yeah. I know, yeah.
So what's this record going to do for you?
Well, I think it's done okay.
What's your goals?
I mean, already it's charted really well in quite a few countries. We're very pleased with that. I think it's gone at number 23 in Germany, which is great, and we had a top 10 here in the UK, and it's number 1 in the rock chart, and. So that's right from the start. That's a good sign. We start a UK tour next week.
All right.
I know we're looking at doing some German dates for sure this year. We will be.
Yeah.
I make no secret of how much I love Germany. Obviously, I have a huge connection there with one of my daughters being half German and living in Berlin. So it means a lot to me to play Germany, and we will be playing Germany. I think it just keeps the band. I think. Anybody that did write us off with the lineup changes, and certainly with Scott leaving, because people go, well, that's it. That's the end of the band. They can't really carry on. I think we've proved them all wrong. I think the album, I'm a big fan of don't do this, don't talk. Show me. So the album's come out. It's done really well. The band's really strong. We're going on tour, and that's all you can hope for. And I think to keep that going, do some festivals, and then let's get to work on album number 6.
It's been 10 years.
I know.
Is 10 years a long time for you? In kind of a respect that the Rolling Stones have been around 700 years, but or is it just like, it's 10 years? How do you feel about that?
Both. I think it doesn't feel like 10 years. Obviously, I think we were all kind of robbed of a couple of years with the pandemic. And I think that made things crazy. So that makes it feel shorter. But I'm very proud that it's been 10 years. And because I didn't know if we were going to get past the first record. I didn't know if anybody was going to be really interested. So the fact that we're here now, 10 years and the 5th album, it's incredible. And it's something I'm really proud of. I mean, it's the longest I've ever been in a band.
Seriously?
Yeah.
Is the Almighty what?
No. The Almighty split up. I mean, we were 8 years, really. We went from 88 to 96. you know, and then we got back together briefly, but you know, it wasn't just only like a little few days here and there. But so really, that was only 8 years. So this is the longest I've ever been in a band. So that's a personal achievement for me, and I'm just happy that the band is progressing and evolving and moving forwards.
Yeah, totally. Aren't there any demands from promoters who go like, "Well, we give you a batch of money if you play with the Almighty again"?
Yeah, all the time. Constantly, you know, and we're making an announcement very soon. I think everybody saw that on the websites.
Except me. Okay.
We put a post up on New Year's Eve, which said hashtag never say never, and it caused a lot of a lot of people freaked out in a good way, and you know, I can't say what we're doing. We're doing something.
Yeah.
All will be revealed very soon. All right. But you know, everybody, I'm still really good friends with all the guys, and everybody's happy, and everybody has their own life. And I'll be honest, nobody needs the money, and that's nice, and that's great.
It's nice,
does. Because if somebody did, if one of the guys is really hurting or in trouble, and we could do a few shows to help them out, of course we would, because you help your brother out.
Yeah.
But nobody is. Everybody has their own lives. Everybody's doing their own thing. Everybody is happy. So there's never been a need to let's get the Almighty back together because we need to make money or it feels like it's unfinished. None of those apply. I mean, if we get the Almighty back together, it'll be because we just want to and it's going to be fun. Because life's too short. That's the reasons we do it for. I would anyway.
You have, besides the Black Star Riders, so much going on that I hardly can keep up with your discography. Seriously, there's tons of solo stuff. You know, there's 2 records in 2015 and 1 in 16 and 2 in 17. How do you do all this? Where does the output come from? Yeah.
I just love to stay busy. I love to write songs. I love to create. You know, it's a job, and it's the best job in the world. And I never forget that I'm very lucky that I'm able to do that. And I treat it like a job. You know, when I'm not on tour or playing, and when I'm at home, I get up every day and, you know, do what I got to do with my kids and get them to school. And then I go into my studio and I work 6-7 hours. Even if I create nothing, even if I finish the end of the day and go, well, that was crap. That was a waste of a day. But I still feel that I did a day's work. And I think that's how I have to treat it. I have to treat it that way. And I love it. You know, I just love it. It's great. And, you know, even if it's a bad day, you always end up coming up with something that you can use maybe later on, you know?
What is there that you haven't achieved yet? You as a person and you with the band.
You know, I can't be too critical or I can't moan too much because I have achieved so much personally of what I never dreamed of when I was a kid. Yeah. So many of my dreams have come true. I mean, to me, it's just to maintain where I'm at and keep moving forward. Yeah, of course, I'd like to play bigger places. I'd like the band I'm in to be bigger in, say, in America. Yeah, of course. But I don't lie awake worrying about it because I'm at a level where it's comfortable and I enjoy it and I love to play. And if that's playing, you know, in a bar to 150 people, or that's playing in an arena to 50,000 people, it's okay. It's fine. I like both and I'm happy to do both, you know? I just want to play.
There's one thing of the past I got to ask you, because I think I haven't asked you that the last time. For a while, we talked like ages ago somewhere. Sometimes we
yeah, sure.
I had short hair back then, maybe, but anyway.
Right. Yeah.
You've been a part of the touring band at New Model Army.
Yes.
Why did you leave New Model Army? Because you haven't recorded with them as much as I know.
No, the only thing that I'm on is some live stuff that came out as like, you know, bonus material on some stuff. That was an incredible experience for me. That was the first real band that I was in that I got paid and I got to tour the world and blah, blah, blah. I was super young. I was 20, 21 when I was in New Model Army. And I was a huge New Model Army fan before I got in the band. So that was sort of the first dream that came true. I learned so much from those guys and And Justin Sullivan from New Model Army is still a very close friend to me to this day. We still talk a lot. I still value his opinion. But I learned so much. They finished a world tour and they went in to record the album Thunder and Consolation, which was a huge album for them back at the end of the 80s. And they had a core as a 3-piece. And they decided that they wanted to continue in the studio with the 3 guys on the record. And then when it was done, they'd give me a call and we'd go back on tour again, and no problem. I'd already had the idea for the Almighty while I was in New Model Army. And I thought, well, this is amazing. I can just sit here and wait for them to finish the record and then go and tour the world again. And it's great. It's fun and blah, blah, blah. But I've done that. And I've got to play in this amazing band that I love. But I have this brilliant idea for this band called the Almighty. And I have to go and chase this idea. And if I don't do it, another 2 years will have gone by. Yeah. And I just said, and Justin came down to me and, I remember he just said, look, we're going to make the record. We're going to make it without you. We'll give you a call when it's done and we'll go back on the road. And I just went, look, I have an idea. I love you guys, but I really want to go and try and do my own thing. And I really want to start out my own band. So I'm just going to, we'll just call it a day at this point. And that was it. And it was difficult because like I said, I'm such a fan of the band and I still am. I think they're incredible. Yeah. And, they're just an amazing band. He's an amazing songwriter. And like I said, he's still a very dear friend to me and a huge inspiration. And it was a great introduction into the world of rock and roll. I couldn't have been in better hands.
It's great. Thank you very much for taking your time.
Thank you, man. Good to see you. And
I hope to see you soon in Germany.
I love that T-shirt.
Yeah. The tats.
Yeah.
You cannot hate
it. I've got a story for you.
Yeah. Go ahead.
About Rose Tattoo. So with the Almighty, we went to Australia in 1991 and we toured down there with a band called the Screaming Jets. Yeah. And it was amazing. We were down there for 6 weeks and we played in Sydney. And I'm a huge Rose Tattoo fan like yourself. And somebody said to Pete Wells from the band, the Almighty are in town, and we were getting lots of publicity in Kerrang! Magazine and all that stuff. So Pete Wells got in touch with me, and it was just after Guns N' Roses had recorded Nice Boy.
Yeah.
And he got the first publishing check. So he had like lots of money that had just come in from this, right? And anyway, he said, "Oh man," he said, well, "I'm in town." I said, "Well, come over to the hotel. I want to meet you. You Rose Tattoo. We're not worthy." Yeah. And he came over and I hung out with him. We had such a laugh and it was brilliant. He said, "Do you want to? I'll get up and I'll play with you guys tonight." I went, "Oh, Pete, that would be so killer." And he said, "Well," I said, "What Rose Tattoo song do you want to do?" Thinking, so many great songs we could do. He said, "No, I want to play on an Almighty song." And I went, "Oh, wow." So he got up and he played, he played a slide guitar on Wild and Wonderful. Mm-hmm. And it was amazing. And he was using this really beat up old Fender Telecaster. And it was just all beat up with the action really high because he plays slide. And then we hung out after the show and, we drank at 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning. And I went to bed and I got up to check out of the hotel the next morning. And the guy behind the reception goes, Mr. Warwick, Mr. Wells left something for you and handed me the guitar. That he'd used, which I still have to this day. So I have a Pete Wells's Telecaster that he used to play on that, which is just unbelievable. So that's my Rose Tattoo story. It's pretty cool, right?
I got 1.5 for you because
go on.
When they if you still have the time.
Oh yeah, man. No.
In the year 2000, they started touring again and they came to Germany.
Yep.
We had Angry and Pete here in the studio, right here.
Right. Yep.
And we talked, and it was a really nice chat, among all of us. And then Angry said something, and Richie Blackmore was about to do this and this, and Pete Wells looks at him and goes like, "Who's Richie Blackmore?"
No, brilliant.
And then he goes like, "Oh, it's a guitar player of Deep Purple. What else with this?" Oh, yeah, right. Oh, that's a bloke. Yeah, right. It's just
brilliant. Love it.
Funniest thing ever.
Yeah, those guys, man.
I had the honor to introduce them on stage that night when they played Munich.
Yeah.
And Rose Tattoo back then in the year 2000, they were the evil brothers of AC/DC. And so all those people that went there in the audience, they came straight out of jail.
Oh yeah. Oh no, they're hard. They're hard, man.
They were hard, man. It's not that bad now anymore, but back then it was. Yeah. It really was. And I went on stage. And I said, yeah, blah, I'm from this radio station, blah, which was all new back then. And I threw some shirts in the audience. Yeah. And some guy threw it right back in my face. they go like,
wow, fuck off. Wow, that's amazing. Oh, I know. Scary crowd, right?
But I'm going to tell this for the rest of my life because it's so funny. It's all roasted.
That's a great story. Oh, brilliant, man. Yeah, what a band. Love it.
Oh, man. Love it. So next time, I'm going to go and introduce you on stage.
We'd love to have you. You're very welcome. That would be killer.
Yeah, you have to pay somebody to throw a shirt in my face. It's all good.
Yeah, we'll reenact it, right? You know what I mean?
All right. Thank you very much. And thanks for taking your time again.
Of course, brother. Thank you. Thank you so much.
See you soon.
You will indeed. Be safe. Take care.
You do too. I'm sorry. Bye-bye.
See you, brother. Bye-bye.
Bye.